A mother can lose sight of her calf for only seconds, but in this ocean, seconds are all the hunters need. This is not a chase assembled by chance. Each hunter already knows where the others must be. Then, through the noise of the hunt, the calf hears the one voice it was born to recognize. The hunter does not force the calf to follow. It makes following feel easier than escape. For the first time, the mother sees where they are taking him, and the ocean around her seems to erupt. Every second she follows the wrong shadow, carries her calf farther into the open ocean. The moment the calf chooses its mother, the trap reveals that it has already closed. Before the sun disappears, one of these families will be forced to leave this water without what it came for. 3 days earlier, the calf knew only this sheltered sea, his mother's shadow, and a world that had never given him a reason to be afraid.
For now, every breath the calf takes is guided by the body that has protected him since birth. Every mouthful must build the strength he will soon need for a journey he does not yet understand. He has been alive for weeks, yet even reaching the air remains a skill that cannot fail. His mother cannot stop the ocean, but she can place herself between her calf and its power. Across this reef, hundreds of new lives are being prepared for the most dangerous journey in the Southern Ocean. Curiosity pulls him beyond his mother's shadow, unaware that soon another shadow will invite him to follow. He cannot see her through every cloud of fish, but one familiar call is enough to bring him home. Long before he learns the route south, the calf learns to trust the current created by the body beside him. Beside his mother, following is not merely instinct, it is the difference between exhaustion and survival. The nursery has protected him from the open sea, but every sanctuary has an edge, and soon his mother must cross it. The route ahead is already open, but his mother knows that strength cannot be rushed. Every movement he copies is more than play. It is a lesson his body may one day need to remember. When his body fails, hers is always there beneath him, so he has never learned what falling alone feels like. He learns when to rise by feeling her movement before he ever sees the surface. In these final hours of daylight, the safest place in the entire ocean is the space beside his mother. He grows stronger with every feeding, while the mother who feeds him grows weaker with every passing day. Even in darkness, the calf never needs to search for her. Her voice fills more of the sea than sight ever could. No matter how far curiosity carries him, one call still restores the world he recognizes. The first storm of his life teaches him a simple truth. When the sea turns against him, he must stay inside her wake.
By morning, the calf is stronger, but the instinct that keeps him beside his mother can protect him only until something else learns to imitate her.
Before she can lead him south, his mother must discover how long his young body can keep moving. One by one, the other mothers are leaving, because the refuge that gave birth to their calves cannot feed them forever. The route is invisible, yet voices from beyond the reef are telling her that the time to leave has arrived. This milk has carried him through the nursery, but it cannot shorten the thousands of dark kilometers waiting ahead. Before mother and calf can leave, a 40-ton stranger rises from the migration route and blocks the open sea. He has not come for the calf. He has come to travel beside a mother whose journey has already begun. Together, the adults create a moving sanctuary around the smallest body in the group. With one final stroke, the calf leaves the only world he has ever known and enters a sea without walls. The journey has barely started, and already the calf is spending strength his mother cannot replace. The mother believes she has chosen the safest moment to leave, but this migration is followed by families whose survival depends on her making that choice.
The whales cannot see what frightened the fish, but in the open ocean, fear often arrives before the hunter. A new sound has entered the migration route, too precise to be current, and too deliberate to be ignored. Something has passed beneath the calf without surfacing, close enough to study him and careful enough not to be seen. At last, the watcher reveals herself, not with an attack, but with a single breath.
She is not alone. Two younger hunters follow every turn, learning a route their family has used before. For every adjustment the mother makes around her calf, the hunters make an adjustment of their own. The escort carries enough force to break bone, yet the orcas never allow him close enough to use it. To the whales, the danger appears to be retreating, but a hunter this patient rarely abandons a meal after one warning. From the darkness, the matriarch begins measuring the calf, how often he breathes, when he tires, and which adult he follows. The orcas are not attacking because they have not yet found the weakness they need, but somewhere ahead, this family's perfect formation will break. Morning finds the whales still together, but beneath them, the hunters have already resumed the journey. The whales see only an opening, but every fish in this corridor is fleeing something behind them. The calf is drawn toward every movement, and the hunters are learning how easily curiosity can pull him out of formation. The younger hunter sees an opening, but the matriarch knows that taking the calf and keeping him are different problems.
Each time the calf wanders, one of the adults closes the gap, and each correction teaches the orcas who will move first.
The escort must dive to rest and breathe in his own rhythm, and for a few moments the moving fortress loses one of its walls. The moment they have been waiting for has arrived, yet the matriarch still refuses to close the distance. She is not watching the calf alone. She is studying the rules his mother follows whenever the ocean changes. For the second time, the hunters withdraw, but this time they leave knowing exactly when the calf becomes exposed. With the clicks gone and the fish returning, the ocean begins to look safe again. The hunters never left. They simply moved beyond the distance where a breath, a fin, or a warning could betray them.
Each change the current forces upon the mother becomes another answer the matriarch will not need to discover during the attack.
For the first time, one hunter allows herself to be seen while the others become harder to find. The escort does exactly what the visible orca requires. He carries 40 tons of protection away from the calf. The second hunter enters the opening, but this time the mother is already facing him. One strike could end the young hunter's life, and the matriarch has no reason to gamble while the mother remains this alert. The test lasts only seconds, yet the whales have spent far more energy defending the calf than the orcas spent threatening him. The hunters have taken nothing from the calf, yet already they are stealing the time he needs to feed and rest.
The trap does not begin by capturing the calf. It begins by exhausting every animal capable of protecting him.
The younger hunters are not repeating the same approach. The matriarch is changing their roles after every response.
This time the warning comes from ahead, because the real question waits behind the calf.
For the first time, a hunter reaches the calf before both adults are facing the same direction. Instinct saves the calf again, but every successful escape shows the matriarch exactly where he will move next. The escort can defend from any direction, but he cannot remain at every depth, and his breathing reveals when each layer will be left open.
Food surrounds them, yet this family lets it pass, because the hunt they inherited was never designed for fish.
The calf's exhaustion makes the family slower, and every correction narrows the routes his mother can safely choose. Neither hunter touches the calf, yet together they remove every direction except the one the matriarch wants the family to take. The safer water is now behind them, and the family has entered a channel where protection can approach from only one direction at a time. Only now does the pattern become clear. The orcas are no longer following the whales. They have moved ahead to decide where the family will go next.
For the first time, the warning comes from the direction the family must travel, leaving the mother nowhere safe to turn. To discover what waits ahead, the escort must create the very opening the hunters have spent all day seeking.
Two hunters offer the escort something to chase, while the third waits beneath the animals he has left behind.
Once again, the mother closes the opening, but this time she must defend above, below, and ahead without the escort beside her. Hunger now weakens the calf faster than distance, and every interruption gives the hunters an advantage they never have to touch.
The calf still reaches the air, but each breath now depends upon his mother spending strength she can no longer recover.
For the first time since morning, the calf is allowed to rest, and silence feels enough like safety for the adults to believe it. The whales mistake silence for absence, but the hunters have simply stopped announcing how close they are. Exhaustion finally creates what every earlier distraction could not, a family no longer held together by constant movement. The opening has appeared, yet the matriarch passes beneath it without rising. Without touching the family, she can distinguish the powerful escort, the exhausted mother, and the smaller breath that belongs to the calf. The younger hunter sees a vulnerable calf. The matriarch sees two adults still close enough to kill her. In darkness, the hunters do not merely hide beneath the whales. They borrow the shadows of the animals they intend to separate. The orcas are not abandoning the hunt. They are moving beyond the family to choose where the next encounter will begin. By dawn, the calf can finally feed, and the absence of every warning persuades the adults that the night has carried them clear.
With the calf stronger and the sea quiet, the escort begins ranging farther from the family than he has since the hunters arrived.
Every hunter now waits, where experience says one defender will eventually be forced to move. The shadows have learned everything they need from this family, but to understand what happens next, we must understand the mind of the hunter leading them. For 2 days, the whales have known her only as a shadow, but every decision made below them begins with this female. The marks on her body were earned across decades, in which one mistake near a whale's tail could have been the last. They do not follow because they are weaker. They follow because her movements contain lessons no instinct can provide alone. For this family, the ocean is filled with animals they could chase, and but almost nothing they have chosen to hunt.
A few sounds are enough to rearrange the pod, but near alert whales, even communication must be used carefully.
Before separating, the younger female touches the matriarch, a moment of contact inside a hunt built on distance. The matriarch does not need to discover this channel. Its currents, ridges, and blind approaches already exist within her memory. From behind the ridge, she can hear the formation before she sees it, and the smallest breath remains exactly where she expected. The gap they spent 2 days creating has returned, and every hunter is now waiting beside the animal she has chosen to move.
The opening is real, but the matriarch still turns away, because the next generation must understand the plan before the family risks everything to execute it.
The matriarch has surrendered one opening to enter a place where the younger hunters can repeat the movements that the real attack will demand.
The first lesson is not how to bite. It is how to remove one direction without colliding with the animal being controlled.
Every young whale follows the easier water beside its mother, and the matriarch understands that safety can be reproduced by the wrong body.
Only a narrow position produces the illusion of protection, and holding it at speed requires precision from the hunter leading the calf. One hunter creates the current the calf will follow. Another removes the moment when he might choose to turn back. They possess the speed to surround almost anything, But speed without timing leaves an opening even a frightened calf could find. The correction is made without punishment. The matriarch simply repeats the movement until every body occupies the right piece of water. Even breathing is staggered, because a pod that surfaces together reveals its number, position, and intention. This time the corridor holds through the turn, and nothing inside it can leave without crossing the path of a hunter. The rehearsal is over, and somewhere ahead the calf is still trusting the same current these hunters have just learned to control. The formation is ready, but before trusting it with the calf, the matriarch must measure the weapons surrounding him.
The young male approaches from behind, where the escort appears slowest, but the largest weapon in the sea is already moving above him.
The tail never touches him, yet the water alone carries enough force to throw a hunter off course. Experience does not prevent every mistake, but it allows the matriarch to end one before the escort can strike again. Where the escort defends with explosive force, the mother defends by turning her own body into a wall. Strength closes the outer sea, instinct closes the space beneath the mother, and the calf disappears inside both defenses. Every defense protects one direction by briefly abandoning another, and the matriarch begins counting the space between those movements. The younger hunters are no longer trying to enter. They are teaching the matriarch exactly how quickly each adult can respond. For less than 3 seconds, the calf loses the current that keeps him beside his mother, and 3 seconds may be all the matriarch needs.
The orcas cannot overpower this wall, so the matriarch chooses a more dangerous idea. She will convince the wall to open itself.
The plan now divides into 3 roles: 1 hunter for the escort, 1 for the mother, and 1 for the calf.
The younger female becomes the danger the escort is meant to see, because protection can be moved most easily by giving it something obvious to confront.
The young male does not need to defeat the mother, he needs only to turn her body away from the water her calf is about to enter.
For one unguarded moment, the calf feels the current beside his mother disappear, and another current begins forming beneath him. The calf follows the easier water for less than a second, long enough to prove that the deception can work. The pod withdraws before the adults can strike, because the test has already answered the only question that mattered.
The younger female will draw away the escort, the young male will turn the mother, and the matriarch will become the body the calf finds easiest to follow.
The escort's rhythm has not changed, and soon his next dive will create a longer absence than the calf can afford.
The channel ends in water without shelter, and for the first time the hunters can approach from every direction at once.
Every body is now in position, and when the escort descends once more, the next movement will no longer be a test. The escort reaches the point in his dive when returning quickly will cost more energy than continuing forward.
The decoy gives him a hunter he can drive away, and the instinct to protect carries him in precisely the wrong direction.
The escort believes he is removing danger from the calf, unaware that each stroke is removing the calf's strongest defender. With the escort gone, the second hunter asks the mother a question she cannot ignore. Which side of her calf will she leave exposed?
The mother protects him from the hunter as she can see, and in doing so, removes the current that has carried him since birth.
The matriarch enters the empty space not as an attacker, but as a moving shelter, shaped almost exactly like the one the calf has lost.
The calf hears his mother and begins to turn, but the path back is now occupied by the hunter assigned to delay her.
The mother is faster than the calf, but every forced turn makes the distance grow in a direction she did not choose.
For one crucial moment, the calf can no longer see his mother, but he can still feel the current of the body beside him.
For the first time in his life, the calf follows the wrong body, and the kidnapping begins.
The matriarch does not flee at full speed, because the calf must believe that staying beside her remains easier than turning back.
He can hear the animal that raised him, but the exhausted muscles in his tail respond to the body, making movement easier.
The mother carries enough force to kill the hunter blocking her, but every strike that misses buys the matriarch more distance. The young hunter never needs to stop the mother. He needs only to make her travel farther than the calf. At last, the escort recognizes that the visible hunter was never the true threat, but recognition arrives after the family has already been divided. The decoy can delay him no longer, but she has already purchased the seconds the matriarch needed.
The matriarch now turns away from the migration, carrying the calf into water his mother never intended him to enter.
Escape requires the calf to choose the harder water, and after days of migration, his body keeps choosing relief.
Distractions end as the pod closes around the calf, transforming one false current into a moving enclosure. His strength carries him past the target, and the defender who came closest is suddenly farther from the calf than before. At the center of the chaos, the kidnapping remains almost gentle. The calf is being carried away by water rather than force. For a moment, the calf's need to breathe breaks the formation, and his mother hears exactly where he has surfaced. The sound gives the mother a straight path through the deception, and for the first time she begins gaining on the calf. The mother has finally found the correct line, so the hunters abandon concealment and place their bodies directly between her and the calf.
Separated for minutes, the two defenders now converge on the same point, and even the matriarch cannot safely challenge both at once.
The adults come within seconds of rebuilding the family, but the pod divides the ocean into two levels and takes the calf through the space between them. The escort must choose between the hunter below him and the calf above, and the decoy makes either decision feel dangerous. Every meter the escort descends becomes another meter he must climb before his strength can protect the calf again. Only the mother remains close enough to hear each weakening breath, and she spends everything she has to answer it. This time, the mother refuses the turn, passes beneath the blocker, and reaches open water with nothing between her and the calf. He chooses his mother, but after days of travel and hours of pressure, his body no longer has the strength to complete the turn.
When the calf can no longer follow, the matriarch places her own body beneath him and lets the moving ocean carry him forward.
To the calf's exhausted body, the hunter now feels less like a captor than the support he has depended upon since birth.
The mother comes within one sweep of breaking the formation, but the matriarch keeps the calf on the side her body can shield. The pod needs only one hunter to carry the calf, because the others have turned distance itself into the cage holding his protectors. The calf is now fully inside the hunter's formation, and for the first time his mother is no longer close enough to reach him with a single charge. The calf may be beyond her reach, but the voice he followed since birth still crosses every meter between them. His mind chooses his mother, but outside the hunter's wake, his exhausted body begins losing the battle against the sea. Each time the calf attempts to leave, the matriarch restores the support his mother is still too far away to provide. The escort has escaped the decoy, but the oxygen spent chasing her now forces him to surface in the wrong part of the ocean. The decoy's work is finished, and the hunters reunite around a calf whose two defenders now approach from opposite horizons. Unable to break the barrier from behind, the mother disappears beneath it, and for the first time the hunters lose track of her. Guided by the last place she heard him breathe, the mother rises beneath the calf, with no hunter left between them. For a few heartbeats, the trap opens completely, and the calf begins falling back toward the only body he truly recognizes. The mother comes close enough for the calf to see her scar, yet the pod takes him back before he can reach the safety behind it. The younger hunters cannot stop the mother's ascent, but they can make the safest path for her calf disappear. For the first time since the attack began, both defenders pursue together, but the hunters now possess the distance they spent the entire day creating. Together, the adults split the rear barrier and create one final corridor toward the calf. The defenders are faster in a straight line, so the matriarch refuses to give them one.
The corridor closes before the larger whales can correct their momentum, and the calf disappears behind 3 bodies once again.
The calf has been taken beyond his mother, but the hunters must now keep their exhausted prize breathing through a sea that is growing rougher. His mother can still hear him, but the voice returning through the darkness is becoming shorter with every breath. The same hunter who stole the calf must now support him, because a body that cannot breathe cannot continue moving with the pod.
The adults are close enough to attack, yet any violent impact could push their own calf beneath the water before he can breathe again.
After a night without rest, the mother can still follow, but she can no longer close the distance through strength alone. The kidnapping is complete, but when the calf fails to rise for his next breath, the hunt becomes a race against the last strength remaining inside him. For the first time since birth, the calf is sinking with no strength left to follow any body toward the air. The hunters have taken him from his mother, but now every member of the pod must work to keep their exhausted captive alive. The mother has not abandoned the chase. She has entered a deeper current that can carry her beneath the hunters faster than the surface ever could. This time, the defenders do not approach together. One will rise beneath the calf, while the other closes the escape route beside him. The surface is now inches away, but the calf must still find enough strength to open the passage to his lungs.
He breathes, but the sound is too weak to promise that another breath will follow. The hunters see only fleeing fish, but the matriarch recognizes what is moving beneath them, one moment too late.
The pod has spent hours dividing the defenders, and now both adult whales return from directions the hunters cannot control at once.
The mother reaches him from below and offers the one surface the calf's body remembers without hesitation. The mother has reached her calf, but touching him and carrying him out through 3 returning hunters are not the same victory. After hours inside the hunter's formation, the calf touches the body he has been trying to reach. Supported by his mother, the calf finally draws a breath strong enough to sound like survival. The breath has saved the calf for another moment, but the pod is already rebuilding the cage that nearly ended him. This time, the escort does not chase. He remains beside the calf and turns his strength into a boundary the hunters must cross. The mother no longer tries to strike every shadow. She gives the calf one place the hunters cannot enter without facing both adults. The deception worked when the calf was alone, but now the matriarch cannot replace a current, and the mother refuses to surrender. The hunters cannot open the defense, but the ocean itself can move the calf beyond it.
Instead of fighting the current, the mother turns with it and uses the sea to carry her calf home.
The calf returns to the current his body remembers, and for the first time the wake carrying him belongs to his mother again. The family is whole again, but the hunters are still hungry, and the matriarch has not followed them this far to surrender after one lost opening. The calf is back where he belongs, but the family must now defend that position while carrying a body with almost no strength left.
The matriarch searches for the reaction she used before, but neither adult will chase, turn, or leave the calf exposed.
The hunters divide the ocean into 2 levels again, but this time the defenders move as one wall instead of 2 separate targets. The escort strikes without pursuing, using only the space his tail can control and giving the decoy nothing to lead away. The formation can resist the hunters, but it can move only as fast as the weakest body inside it. Every stroke the mother removes to protect the calf allows the hunters behind them to add one.
The mother now recognizes the attack before it develops and closes the lower route with her own body. Unable to pull the defenders apart, the pod pushes them together until the calf loses the current hidden between them.
The calf drifts within reach of the matriarch, but his mother catches him with the same fin that failed to reach him during the kidnapping. Ahead lies water too shallow for the hunters to surround them from below, but the calf must survive one final crossing before the reef can become a shield. The mother has found a boundary the hunters cannot use as easily, but reaching it requires the family to reveal exactly where they are going. Only a narrow channel remains. Yet for the calf, it is the longest stretch of water he has crossed since the kidnapping. The matriarch understands that once the calf reaches the shelf, the ocean beneath him will no longer be deep enough to hide and approach. To give the calf the final meters he needs, the escort becomes the wall the pod must cross. The reef is close enough for the calf to see, but his body is now moving almost entirely on the strength of his mother's wake. The escort blocks the channel from side to side, but one final strip of deep water remains beneath him, and the matriarch finds it. The younger hunters hold the escort behind, leaving the matriarch one final attempt to reclaim the calf before the seabed rises beneath them.
The mother cannot outrun the matriarch, so she places every ton of her own body between the hunter and the calf. The shallows remove the danger from below, but every wave now threatens to separate the calf from the body, guiding him across.
The calf has reached the edge of safety, but one body length still separates crossing the reef from being pulled back into the hunt. The matriarch has one final route to the calf, and it ends where deep ocean becomes reef. The mother no longer needs to chase, strike, or predict. She needs only to refuse the matriarch passage.
The defense holds against the hunter, but one breaking wave moves the calf into the only space his mother cannot cover.
The escort returns at the final opening and closes it with 40 tons of moving muscle.
For the first time since the kidnapping, the reef, not distance, stands between the calf and every hunter.
The matriarch can still reach the calf, but here she cannot escape beneath the adults if either one turns to strike. The hunt ends not because the matriarch has lost the skill to continue, but because no meal is worth losing a member of her own family. 3 black fins disappear toward deeper water, and the mother finally hears her calf breathe without a hunter beside him. The calf has survived the hunters, the current, and the final breath his body nearly failed to take.
One family leaves with its calf, the other leaves hungry, and only now can the truth of what happened between them be understood.
Survival does not arrive as triumph. It arrives as one more breath taken beside the body that refused to leave. He can swim again, but every meter now depends upon his mother choosing his pace over the pace of migration. The calf replaces what the chase consumed by taking more from a mother who has eaten nothing throughout the breeding season. The escort continues watching the water the hunters entered, because safety is not the same as certainty. Beyond the reef, the hunters do not celebrate, because the hours spent on the calf have left their own family with nothing to eat. The current the matriarch used to steal the humpback calf is also the current her own exhausted youngster now needs to follow.
The scars across her body are reminders that every failed hunt costs energy, and every reckless hunt can cost a family member.
Food appears to surround them, but the hunting traditions of this family were built around warm-blooded prey, not the fish passing within reach.
The calf has survived, but the migration has not ended, and the mother cannot remain in water that offers her no food.
One family leaves with a living calf, the other leaves with hunger, and the truth begins where the simple story of hunter and victim ends. The hunt has ended, but hunger continues traveling with the pod long after the calf disappears behind the reef. Like the humpback calf, the youngest hunter survives by borrowing strength from the female, leading her through the sea. Beyond the migration corridor, the surface offers no weak animal, no isolated calf, and no immediate replacement for the meal they lost.
The matriarch finds whales again, but these are strong adults whose size turns hunger into an unacceptable risk. A predator survives not only by knowing how to attack, but by recognizing the animals it cannot afford to challenge.
The younger female was born with speed and teeth, but the decisions that keep a hunter alive must be learned from the matriarch beside her. Their calls carry identity, position, and connection, holding the family together even when the hunt has given them nothing. The failed hunt changes their direction, but it does not change the bonds that made coordinated hunting possible.
The matriarch did not hunt the humpback calf because she was cruel. She hunted because two younger lives were following her through an ocean that does not feed every family equally.
Long after the calf is gone, the matriarch repeats the route, because the younger hunters must remember where current.
The younger female does not reproduce the route perfectly, but each correction turns experience borrowed from the matriarch into knowledge of her own.
Movement is passed through demonstration, but coordination is carried by calls unique enough for every member of the pod to recognize. Other orca families may cross the same ocean, yet they do not all share this family's calls, routes, or preferred prey. The hunt failed, but the channel remains in memory, and another migration may one day bring another opportunity through the same water. On opposite sides of the reef, two young whales survive by following knowledge carried in the bodies of older females. The calf returns to the right current without being lifted, carrying forward a lesson purchased through exhaustion and fear. He is beginning to predict his mother's movement before it happens, the same kind of learning that made the hunters so difficult to escape. One youngster is learning how to survive a hunt. The other is learning how her family may conduct the next one. The same forces bind both families: memory, communication, protection, and the need to prepare the young.
The refuge saved the calf, but survival now requires returning to the same open water where the family was almost broken. The calf, who once survived only by being carried, now holds his own place in the current.
A single hunt occupies only hours, but the decisions learned within it may remain inside a family for decades. This calf was never the only vulnerable life in the corridor. Every mother leaving the nursery must guide her young through the same exposed water.
The migration and the hunters share the same route, yet proximity alone does not guarantee that another attack will begin.
The mother now responds before a fin appears, carrying memory of the hunt inside every adjustment around her calf. The matriarch recognizes a formation no longer worth testing and saves her family's remaining strength for another opportunity. The encounter does not repeat, because both families leave it carrying information the other did not possess before. Next season, the corridor will fill again, new calves will enter it, and every family will return carrying strategies shaped by the seasons before. Far beyond the reef, the calf continues south through colder water his exhausted body once seemed unlikely to reach. The escort's part in their journey ends here, leaving the mother to complete the migration with the calf he helped return. He still chooses his mother's side, but now he returns because he recognizes safety, not because his body is unable to swim alone.
The calf, who nearly failed to reach the air, now leaves the ocean under his own power.
The younger hunter also moves differently now, carrying a failed plan forward as experience the matriarch no longer holds alone. Hunger has not disappeared, and somewhere beyond the island another decision between risk and survival is already waiting. Their next hunt will begin with the knowledge of this one, just as every future escape will begin with what the humpback mother learned here.
They will never understand one another, yet both females are shaped by the same responsibility: to keep a younger life moving through the ocean.
The hunt gave one family hunger, and the other a scar that cannot be seen, but both leave the water changed. In an ocean without mercy, love does not end the hunt. It gives both sides a reason to survive.